Hi, everybody. Welcome back. One of the greatest ironies of human life is that it's when we're in the darkest of places and need the most help that the help seems the most inaccessible. You may have your own personal reasons for this. Maybe in your family you couldn't ask for help, or maybe you could ask for help, but the price tag was too high. But there's a deeper and more universal reason, and it's because of our image of God. I'm not talking about a conscious image. What I'm talking about is an image that is lodged deeply in humanity's collective unconscious, what Carl Jung would call our archetype of God, a kind of pre-existing prejudicial lens through which we view the divine. Now, that unconscious image is that of a transcendent, all-powerful being who is perfect in every respect. To be blunt, that's a God who's never experienced our darkest moments of heart-pounding anxiety, soul-killing depression, heart-wrenching isolation, and loneliness. How can a God who's so perfect that he's never experienced these things be of any use to us in our darkest hours? How can he even come close to understanding what he himself has never experienced? And by the way, I'm intentionally using masculine pronouns for God because that's part of the image of God, who is beyond feelings and beyond vulnerabilities. In essence, beyond heart. This is the space where I spent most of my life, trying again and again to invoke something higher than myself and receiving only silence. Crickets. No answers at all. And then serendipitously, or maybe by the grace of God, I read a passage that actually changed my image of God. I'm not saying hearing this once will change your life. You'll have to remind yourself of it again and again. But for me, it marked a turning point. It really told me that I could choose to see things differently. This piece of writing that I'm going to read to you is a revolutionary reinterpretation of Christ's crucifixion. By the way, I'm not a Christian. I'm not really a practicing member of any religion. And you don't have to be Christian to take advantage of this interpretation. You don't even have to be religious. All I knew when I read the passage was that I needed help from something beyond me. And I found the mythical imagery of this passage I'm about to read to you immensely helpful. Now, the passage was written by an English writer named G.K. Chesterton, and it comes with a little bit of a warning label. Chesterton was a Christian theologian, so some of the wording of this passage can come across as a little chauvinistic, like Christianity is better than other religions. But I would beg you to ignore that. Pay attention to the deeper message that he's giving us, because I guarantee you, the mythological imagery that he's drawing in this remarkable piece of writing can change your life. Now, I just want to set up the passage I'm going to read to you. Chesterton is making a radical proposition that what makes Christianity unique is that it observed that the omnipotence of God actually made God incomplete. To be wholly God, to encompass everything that is possible, God must experience the impotence that we all feel as human beings. To be of any assistance to us, God must pour his essence into a human being who faces the aloneness and terror and the horrifying sense of abandonment that Christ experiences on the cross when he cries out, "Why have you forsaken me?" This is how Chesterton describes it. In this, indeed, I approach a matter more dark and awful than is easy to discuss. And I apologize in advance if any of my phrases fall wrong or seem irreverent, touching a matter which the greatest saints and thinkers have justly feared to approach. But in that terrific tale of the Passion, the last period of Christ's life, there is a distinct emotional suggestion that the author of all things, in some unthinkable way, went not only through physical agony, but through doubt. God passed in some superhuman manner through our human horror of pessimism. When the world shook and the sun was wiped out of heaven, it was not at the crucifixion, but at the cry from the cross, the cry which confessed that God was forsaken of God. The matter grows too difficult for human speech, but let the atheists themselves choose a God. They will find only one divinity who ever uttered their isolation, only one religion in which God seemed for an instant to be an atheist. If God himself has experienced the crushing doubt and isolation I feel in my darkest moments, then I am never truly alone. If God is with me in that, even that horror of forsakenness, then that is a God whose empathy I can feel and believe in, a God whom I can hold and who will hold me, even in the hollowest places in my soul. Thanks again for listening. See you again soon.